Well, you're recording.
Yeah, but I haven't done the
You
bit.
haven't done jack shit.
That's true.
Okay.
You know why? Because I've hit the button, but I haven't hit the button. Like there's really two buttons.
Okay.
You have the button that records everything.
And then you have the shiny button.
And then you have This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G Long, and sitting across the way is Deb.
Hello.
Howdy.
As always.
Yeah.
Bella says I'm lying.
And the dog may bark occasionally because
she's in a pissy mood.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. If you'd like to reach the Long in the Boot podcast, and you're not a spam caller, because I've been getting those. The number is 337-502-9011, and the email address is longintheboot@gmail.com. And the website, if you don't want to mess with podcast apps, the website is, longintheboot.com.
Oh, as easy as it gets,
yeah,
right?
It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah,
right?
we didn't get a phone call, but we got a message from what I call the Wedding Syndicate.
Yes.
Because of the podcast where I basically said, couples, you don't have to go into debt to get married, and just the exorbitant costs of weddings. And apparently there's a lot of people that make a lot of money on weddings,
we'll get to that
especially in our area. So, yeah.
Because you are sitting across the way, as I pointed out. But sitting off to the east.
East? Okay.
Sitting off to the east is our guest.
Our guest. We have a guest.
Yes, Josh.
Guest.
Yeah, you are a guest. Josh Ardoin, a former student of both of ours, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and many others, I suppose.
And many others.
Because
we all go through the same process.
Yep. And we invited him to come on and chit-chat and just talk about things.
Yeah. I think it's always interesting. It's kind of like flipping a classroom, right? You let the kids, you let the young people teach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Josh, what year did you graduate?
2012.
12. Okay.
Okay. So almost a decade.
So 11.
So like at a
11
decade,
years.
11 years. Yeah.
Yeah. We just had our 10-year last
reunion.
year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did they get together?
We did.
It was a small group, though.
It was
a small but vocal group.
I mean, yeah. It was a very small group, but I mean that's what's to be expected with our generation.
Well, it is. That is different than what we experienced.
It was nice. There was a bunch of people. We got to look at the yearbook and look how much we changed. And
well, it's a lot different now too, because everybody kind of stays in contact now. It used to be when you finished high school,
everybody went
most
their own
of
way.
your people, you didn't really stay in contact with them.
Well, and what's sad is I actually probably spent more time with everybody's kids than I did conversating with them, because I had so much fun running around the gym with them.
You love children.
I do.
Oh, actually, that day we stopped in at the rec center and y'all were having that. Yeah, there were kids everywhere. And it was.
Man,
and that's what I
kids.
love about the social media is getting to follow that.
So how about you? What's the stats for?
Well, I got 3 total. I got a 9-year-old, Elena. She is my super independent. She can do
first
anything.
Child. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I got Jonah. He's my middle. He's
How old is he?
5.
5.
Or he's about to
okay.
be 5. Yeah.
Oh
boy.
Yeah. He is an interesting child. And I love watching him and learning from him. He's got high functioning autism.
Okay.
And so that's something we've been learning about.
You've been learning yourself.
Absolutely. And trying to, parenting's hard to begin with, so when you start adding layers to it, it gets really interesting, but it's fun. Give that kid a bug and he's going to know everything about it.
Oh, so he gets really intent on what he wants to learn
and
about.
He wants to play with kids and he wants to have fun for short increments, and so he'll play and have fun and he plays
then
really
it's overdone.
nice. And then when he gets, overstimulated or something, he'll just disappear, and everybody's like, where's Jonah? It's like he's having Jonah
But that's
time.
good. That means he understands that it's time for him to take a break.
Yeah, and that's something we learning about drawing boundaries and all that, and learning about our boundaries and the kids' boundaries. And
you have to look at the world differently. I would imagine.
My goodness, yes.
But you're growing
because I'm
together.
dealing with
just in the past 10 years. Let's say just your mind has changed so much. The world has changed so much, and so we're just constantly surviving. That's what we're doing.
Well, good.
We're surviving.
I think that's a perfect way to express that, and I bet you that most of the people your age, above and below, are saying the same thing. I'm just making it day by day.
How old's your youngest?
And my youngest is 3. That's Abigail. She is my wild child. Knows she's the youngest and knows she's cute,
and she can get away with it.
Oh, absolutely. To a point.
And you've been married. You've been married for how long?
About 8 years now.
Okay.
I think we're coming up on our 8 year
anniversary.
And I know, do a plug. I know your wife is doing hair, right?
Yeah. She does hair. She got her cosmetology license, and she's working at Focused One Design in Moss Bluff. So
okay. I know where that is.
Dude, she's so good with like braids and stuff like that. Like
nice.
she does all the crazy. I like saying like folklore braids,
trendy.
Like
she can do different styles and different trends.
Loves colors. She says she's a highlighter right now because she's got like this bright neon.
Well,
yellow
it is.
and green.
See, it's part of the trends, right?
Oh yeah.
We go through those fashion phases and we go through those hair phases.
Any color.
She's really good with dreads. We rock dreads for a couple years.
Oh, I saw a picture of you with dreads.
She's really good at doing dreads and. She absolutely
anything
loves it.
Goes with hair.
Oh yeah,
just like with the eyebrows. That was my point.
Hey man, mullets
anything
are back.
Goes.
Yay.
Mullets are back.
Definitely back.
I
didn't think it would come around again.
I actually thought that one might not come back.
Well, so me and Austin have played a game. That's one thing I love about me and Austin's friendship is he was a
high school buddy, right? Y'all graduated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know who Austin
I had permission to name drop him.
Okay.
But
we'll get him in here one of these days.
Yeah. But one thing about our friendship is we've always played games.
Okay.
And we still play games.
Board games, digital games, all games.
These are games that got us through high school.
Oh, like what was one of them when they were Ninja? Was it a?
Yeah, we played Ninja a lot. We recently taught our kids that. Now that's all they want to play. What
else did they do? Some kind of spoons game.
We do some more trickier games like What Are the Odds? We've played What Are the Odds for years, and that's the one that gets us in the most trouble.
What's the parameters?
So it's simply if I want Austin to do something, I'll ask him, what are the odds you'll do this? Okay. And then he'll have to give me, we cap the number out at 20, but he'll have to say, 1 in 10, 1 in 15. The cap is 1 in 20. That's the highest you can go. Okay. Then I have to guess that number. If I guess that number, he has to do it. If I don't, then I have to pick I have to give odds. And
so what kind of tasks are you giving?
Well, so most recently I won and he had to get a mullet. He was getting a haircut anyways. Yeah. And he joked about, anything but a mullet. And so I simply said, well, what are the odds
that you're going to get a mullet?
And I ended up guessing the number.
The right number.
He had to rock a mullet. I got to throw darts at his hand one time, which was probably more terrifying for me than it was for him. He was set in it. He had accepted it. Like, I'm going to get poked. Me, I'm still like, I'm about to throw the sharp object at somebody, and so I'm shaking trying to throw it at them. And
yeah, it is like a boundary that you're raised to think I'm not supposed to hurt people.
Right.
All right.
Well, should be.
It's like, what are the odds you're going to pee your pants?
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to do that.
Right. Now there is a cop out. There is, if your name, if your number,
out.
you can tap
a safe
out.
Word.
But however, the consequence is getting a free nut shot. Hands behind the back, feet spread.
That was an Idiocracy.
I'm out.
Yeah,
we go back to Idiocracy, right?
It was.
Ow, my nuts.
Yeah.
I
believe
that.
the word was balls.
Oh.
But needless to say, Austin got to rock a mullet, so he got to join in with the trend.
Wait, is he still wearing it?
Oh no. His wife was not too excited about it.
She didn't like that mullet?
No, she didn't like. Well, what was funny is they were going to be taking family pictures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was super excited.
That's like our son.
That's awesome.
That's like our son wearing his porn stash. His wife is
that's
not
like a bonus.
fan. But yes. Oh, that's a good one. What are the odds you'll get a porn stash?
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Are
right.
You got to have the right.
No, I'm not challenging.
You got to have the right there's something about that stash that has to be.
Oh, it has to be thick.
It has to be tall. It's like.
Oh, you need a big upper lip.
I guess so. I guess you need a big upper lip, and you need the hair to grow the right way.
See, Austin has attempted. He was shooting for the porn stash. He missed the mark and landed more on the pedophile stash.
Oh yes, that's no
real
good.
cringy looking.
That's what I mean. That's what happens. It's a certain type of lip that can pull that off.
Yeah. I saw a Hitler in Kroger's one day. I followed that man for a long time. I really wanted to, but I'm not a rude person, so I was trying to be, just kind of hidden, and I never got it. But
man,
that was probably a good 10 extra minutes of my life trying to get a picture of that man.
Hoping somebody would jump in.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Heil, sir.
Heil low.
Hold still on this aisle, please, sir.
Oh my God, we've
Heil
devolved to Nazi
aisle.
jokes.
Okay. We got 3 kids. We got a wife who's a hairdresser at Focus One in Moss Bluff. Yes, we did the good stuff.
All right. You did
now. You have a job that you love?
I do.
Yeah, you're a creator. You're an artist.
I
so again, another plug. Where you at?
I'm at the Pit Stop in Reeves. You can't miss it unless you blink a lot.
It's Reeves.
It's
on
right
the main,
there. I mean,
it's on the main drag, right?
On the main drag, yeah.
Oh yeah, so people get pulled over right there all the time.
All the time.
Oh, y'all get to see the show.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We've got to see a few car chases. We've got to see a few different things.
That is a revenue generating chunk of real estate, buddy.
I bet it
makes
is.
some money. They don't mess around with that speed limit in Reeves.
No, they don't.
Just like Rose.
Well, you can't really go because you got the businesses that are right there front, and they're not. What are they? 12 feet away from the road.
There's been times where I was working, 2 foot from the highway.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Under a car trying to get stuff done, So we are right off the highway.
So
and you're doing body and
paint and body work. Yeah, absolutely love it. It's really weird having a job that you have to hope people wreck. So it's kind of weird. I always hope they're safe.
But do you do side jobs where you're just doing like painting and just I want to say pimping out a car,
right?
Tricking out a car.
Not really. I get small things in, like
somebody wants a particular
gun or a motorcycle helmet or things like that. An Xbox. I painted an Xbox cover. Little things like that.
Had you ever even realized that was an option? Like maybe you could do that, like a niche market of people who are interested in.
Not really. I did granite fabrication before I did this, and which was such a dirty job. It was interesting. It was fun, and some of the rocks are just absolutely gorgeous. And you get to learn about the differences in the material,
and stuff,
whether you've got your marble or your actual granite, and now they've got quartzite.
You were cutting like countertops and stuff like that?
Yep, cutting out countertops and installing them and polishing the sides and all that. The natural look is the greatest. And for all the people my age that are trying to get new homes and stuff like that, don't put marble anywhere you're going to use it.
Okay.
That's just that's a friendly tip for you guys.
It's a high maintenance material.
It's sensitive.
Okay.
It is sensitive.
And you wouldn't think that, right? Marble.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you'd think which is a gorgeous rock. I mean, gorgeous rock, but it holds like any metal. You run a knife across it or anything like that, you're going to have a silver line forever. It holds moisture. If you put a Coke on it, if you're going to end up with a ring, it bruises. It's lovely if you put it aesthetics.
Yeah.
By a fireplace or on a shelf or something. It's
but
gorgeous.
Not something
not in your
that
kitchen,
gets work.
Not in your bathroom, and especially if you don't have children.
All right, good to know.
But I do paint body work and I absolutely love it. I love taking somebody's car that's all beat up, and seeing
transforming.
Well,
that's why I said you're an artist.
That's a thing though. That is the satisfaction, right? Of a job where it's in your hands and you can see the finished results and know that it was you.
Yeah.
And most people in work today can't get that satisfaction.
A satisfaction in seeing an end
because you can't see a result. You could be the best washer maker in the world, but you're never going to see the result of your work.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that apparently in jobs, one of the things that makes people the happiest by far is being able to create something, do something, but have a finished thing and be able to say, I did that and it's complete.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I love about gardening and transforming the landscape is just taking something that looks horrible and making something that I think is beautiful.
But that's why getting paid for it is
a bonus. I don't get paid for it. I get paid for it in back pain.
And you can see yourself improve as a technician. My stepdad, when I was growing up in Missouri, was a paint and body man, and he did a lot of stuff at the house too. And this was the era of the big giant vans where people wanted it full on, like, story epic on their van. And he did some amazing stuff, with horses and weird, just ridiculous things.
Right.
And he gave me a bonus with my first car. He said, we want to do it. We're going to make it look really cool. And he took this really big chunky metal flake and mixed it into this almost purple, but toned down purple, more reddish purple. Mixed that all together and painted my Impala. I had a 62 Impala, and we painted it with this wild maroon metal flake. And that was his gift to me
out of high school
for my birthday.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, but he was good. But he would come home and, like, you must sneeze colors, right?
I do get. I try and wear my respirator and stuff like that. But yeah, I get mostly my hands. My hands are always. It always looks like I do my nails because
and you get little jets like next to your nose.
Oh yeah, right by the nose. Yeah, absolutely. I try and protect the beard and. I use it as a second filter.
What do you do?
I'll ball it up.
For the listening audience, he's rocking a semi ZZ top.
Yeah, the longer the better. I'm shooting for silver. That's what I want.
You'll get it.
I want a long white beard.
Yeah, you'll get it.
That's the goal.
When you were in high school, did you realize that this was going to be your path? Like
paint and body work?
Yeah. Like, how did you?
No, I didn't know jack squat about cars in high school.
Okay.
I didn't know absolutely.
All right. Well, tell the listeners then.
To change my oil.
How did you end up?
Well, first, what did you have
a plan?
A plan?
Not a single one.
Because I tell people all the time, especially people in school, even now, like, look, you can plan all you want, but life has a funny way of just consistently throwing things in your path that alter,
hitting you with a bus,
just whatever.
Just throw rocks. It'll hit you with a bus,
and
you'll be going the completely opposite direction you thought you were.
And then how did I end up here?
Right. And I think that's something to be said that, so you just went to work right out of high school?
Yeah. Well, so I tried McNeese. I did try and go to college because we had tops, and it was all I had a semester paid for,
So go give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll do it, and so I went and took some classes and dropped out of algebra very quickly.
I get you.
Within a couple of days, I was out of there. It was funny because I got up in the middle of the class because we were on like chapter 7 now, and we were only 4 days into the class, and I'm just like, what is going on right now? And so she's like, we're gonna do a test right now on what we've learned the past couple of days, and I stood up and started packing my stuff up.
I'm out.
And yeah, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I said, this just ain't for me. I there's no reason for me to take this test. I was like, and this just ain't for me. She was like, well, what do you mean this isn't for me? I was like, college. I was like, I'm going to go find a job.
It's more specific than just this test.
Yeah. It's not just the test.
Nice.
But so, I just went to work after that. I started at Aeroframe back when it was by Northrop Grumman.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I watched airplanes. It was miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting.
And then
I got a gun pulled on me there.
Oh wow!
North Grumman, they deal with a lot of military stuff.
Yes.
And they had a plane out, in one of the little waiting areas.
Okay.
Call it anymore. It wasn't in the hangar, but we got called in and said, hey, we got a plane coming in. We're gonna need y'all to come watch it. So we show up and I've got all my stuff and I'm in my suit and I got all my soap in my bucket, and my supervisor says, it's out there, just
working at the car wash. Yeah, he's working at the plane
just
wash.
Wait for me, and we'll get started on the plane. And I'm like, okay, so I'll walk out the hangar and I see this plane here and I'm like, okay, this is the plane, and I start walking towards it. And next thing you know, I've got a gun drawn on me by the security guy standing by it, and my supervisor's running out of the hangar, not that plane, and I done dropped all my stuff and my hands are up and I'm like, yeah, obviously, I'm just trying to wash this plane.
What the heck, man?
Yeah, that was an interesting job. That place ended up, not being there anymore.
And they closed down.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. They've got all kinds of stuff out there.
So I have friends that work at Northrop Grumman, and my aunt works there as well. Okay. And so hearing the difference between what their work areas look like and like how their, the TDS and just everything that they do versus what Aeroframe was. Aeroframe got shut down.
That's
quick.
why because that's serious business.
There.
When I worked for American Airlines, you don't even like the fines for somebody unauthorized being on a runway are in the thousands of dollars, and that's on you and American Airline. It's serious business.
So that was an interesting. Out of high school, I really thought I was going to go and I was going to be a youth pastor, or worship pastor, or something like that. Okay. So I was really like focused in on trying to go to a Bible college or something like that, And so I went and lived in Lincoln, Nebraska for a little while with my old youth pastor. At that point, I actually had one of the coolest jobs that I've ever done in my entire life. And I actually heard that Lake Charles might be getting one, which is really interesting. But it's the one up there was called Group Therapy Bike Tours. Okay. And so what they did is they took this giant, like a trolley, I guess, almost like a trailer that you would pull behind you, but it had 2 axles and they mounted bikes all down the side of it. And then they made a walkway in the middle and they got a steering wheel, and then they set up like an electric, like kind of like a golf cart, motor type thing that was electric, so you could drive it if nobody was on it. But anyways, these people would book these tours and they'd get on the bikes and they would pedal. And when they pedaled, it moved the trolley.
It moved the trolley.
Oh, wow.
And so we would go downtown, Lincoln, Nebraska. Everything's set up in blocks. Like everything is very square.
Well
structured. I've been to Lincoln when I was young.
And, like the streets are like
it's a grid. It's a grid.
It's a grid, exactly. And so it's really easy to navigate. And so we would go bar hopping. I'd take them to bars, and they'd all get off. And it's not like Louisiana. They can't just drink in the streets and all that.
You can't take your alcohol with you.
They were allowed to have their own alcohol with them. They could bring an ice chest and put it on the trolley, but they weren't allowed to drink it while we were going down the street.
Oh, all right.
And so the police would stop us, and I'd have to, they signed waivers knowing this, and that it was not on me, and I'd have to talk to the police and be like, look, this isn't, they chose to drink. If they did something wrong, then deal with them as you need to. But
it's not my responsibility.
They'd ask for my license, and the guy I was working for, he said, you don't hand them anything. He said, I know all of them. You just give them my number and let me talk to them. And so, I had to do that a couple of times.
That's
where I was
cool.
like, look, I know you need to see my ID. However, this is not my responsibility. Talk to my manager, and he would tell me, well, just try and make sure to keep them from drinking. I'm like, yeah, okay. While I'm driving this bus full of people, I'm going to make sure they're not drinking.
Yeah, but at least they're safe.
Yeah.
Because nobody's driving.
Yeah. And it was such a fun job.
Yeah, that is cool. That would make more sense than carriage rides around the Civic Center.
It was really, really neat.
It would be more apropos for Southwest Louisiana.
We had speakers on it and lights, so at night, it'd be all glowing. And
that would be better.
Yes, they did something like that around Minute Maid Park when we were at the Chili Peppers concert. There was like people riding around on
carriage rides.
No, the speakers and the music and the glowy thing. It was trippy.
Trippy.
It was trippy.
For your Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really, really interesting. And my personality, like I love people. I love talking to
random
people.
And you're meeting all kinds of cool people.
I had a blast. Yeah, in between rides, I just ride around in it, just kind of promote.
Because there's advertisement. Exactly. So
I'd pick up tips, because they'd be like, "Could you get me over here?" And I'm like, "If you pay good enough,
Well, that's kind of interesting. Now, what got you back here?
Just ready to be home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then where did you meet your wife? Because she didn't go to South, right?
No, she did not. She's from Texas.
Oh my gosh!
I know. I'm sorry.
Texas.
Okay.
She's lovely.
All right.
She's lovely.
No, she is.
She's one of the good ones.
Okay.
But we actually met online.
Oh wow, that's cool. You're not the only person I know that has met their partner online.
That's we were one of the lucky ones where it wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened.
And both of you were honest and true people, not creepy and weird.
Nope.
So.
That always helps.
Well, yeah,
we were who we said we were when we met, and so and it just clicked.
Wow. Well, that's cool.
So,
wait, now if two people are creepy and weird together, then
they can do that together.
Yeah,
it's still allowed.
Yeah, my wife collects all dead things. My house is full
taxidermed items. Is that what you mean?
Oh yeah, we've got everything from like Australian frogs.
Jeffrey Dahmer was into that too.
Look,
I'm just saying.
If it happens, it happens.
And you'll defend her, and you'll help her bury the bodies.
I'll probably be the first one gone. I won't be able to defend her.
Yeah, that's true. Close proximity can be
proximity.
Yeah. You remember that plot of land out there for you?
Oh yeah, that's what everybody thought. Everybody thought it looked like a grave.
Yeah, it's a big wide grave.
It was a lovely
Is
grave.
Glenn alive?
If it was a grave, it was lovely.
It was. I did a good job.
I don't want to be stuck in the cold ground.
No.
I can handle a shovel.
I want to be set on fire or be a tree, one of the other.
Oh, I'm going to be.
I like both of those ideas a lot better than being in the ground.
In a cold box.
Yeah,
it's a $10,000 box. See, it's just like the wedding.
Well, and so that's what I was going to say. You were talking about the weddings. Ours was $500.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was it.
There you go.
$500, and we loved it.
I started the planning process, stopped midway, and said, you know what, I don't want to do this.
We didn't feed nobody.
Exactly.
We didn't
exactly.
That's what I told her. I said, this is about me and you. This is not about everybody else. And she's already got social anxiety. She don't like
so
being
she
around
didn't
a lot
want
of
to
people.
have a big.
Yeah, so it worked out perfectly
It's
fine
not
for us.
right for everybody.
No.
And that was my point. Don't put yourself, your family, or somebody else in debt.
There's a guy on television. I don't know, internet. I don't know what he's on now. It used to be Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that show. We watched a couple of those.
So he did one on weddings.
Oh, did he? Okay.
It was amazing to learn the money making.
Oh, it's an operation.
It's a
which is no offense to anybody that's into it.
Because if that's what you do for a living, then you're making people
and
happy.
if people are paying that,
and
that
if
kind
people
of money,
are willing to do it,
I mean, go for it.
Well, my thing is, you see these giant extravagant weddings by people who are constantly, though, when you get into the hierarchy of celebrity type stuff.
Well, it's the one-uppedness.
Well, what are they trying to prove? It's like a person
that they have the most money and they can do the most extreme things.
Yes, but they talk that they're hypocrites, because then they'll turn around and tell us that we should learn to keep our thermostat at 78 degrees so we don't use greenhouse gases, blah 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 blah.
And then they get on a jet,
and then they'll go and have a $500,000 wedding.
Yes,
and, and it's pointless.
It's bullshit.
It is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And maybe everybody needs to have, like, you used to have rent parties in the 70s. If you want to come and celebrate our love and our union today,
bring a covered dish.
Bring a dish. Yeah. Bring a 6-pack. Bring $5.
Bring a covered dish.
Yeah.
It's BYOB. Bring lawn chairs.
Yes. But see, then
perfect wedding.
The elite would say, well, that's just white trash. That's just trash.
Yeah. Well, that's because they don't understand.
People. Well, no, they don't understand being poor.
I'm fine with being trash.
Yeah.
I am.
I don't think any of us are trash.
I know,
but in their eyes, when they look, they're like, you're trash, and that's okay because I'm happier about it.
I think so,
it's the same thing with my job. Like, I don't make an extravagant amount of money.
But you enjoy going to work.
But I enjoy it.
Yeah.
most of my friends make a lot more money than I do.
Oh, if I didn't make all the money teaching that we make,
right?
If we didn't make those billions of dollars.
All that time off, don't forget that.
Do not understand how y'all do it. It does not make sense to me.
But we meet people like you.
Sure.
This is the whole point. This is kind of why we started all of this.
It's because when you can stand back and watch because when you're in front of a bunch of young kids and you're saying, look, many of you in just 4 or 5 years are going to be parents. You have no idea what's coming. You can't possibly comprehend it. And they just absolutely don't believe you. And then you get to have the pleasure, sort of, I guess maybe in a mean way, but you get to watch these people, then suddenly life hits them. Mm. And it's fun to watch people deal with that and suddenly realize the joy that goes in to having a family.
Yeah.
And
just like you said with your son, just watching him learn and watching that growth. Well, we get to do it over a long
and you
period
can't
of time
appreciate
for thousands of people.
To think how much you changed. Just think about how much you changed from like the time you were 16, 17 to the time when you had your first child, and what that does to you. How it totally ticks your life over. It's like ka-chunk.
What was that first night like?
And the hand moves.
After the baby came.
Tired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exhausted.
Did you have because you were alone, or you were staying with others, or you were, how did that night go?
The first night home.
The first night your wife had a baby, the first child. You left her after she had the child. She went to sleep. What did you do?
I sat and stared at Jonah.
Contemplating. Yeah.
Stared at him for a while, and eventually fell asleep. I watched Christina sleep, the whole time as well. It was it was hard to sleep, just thinking about
all that had just happened.
But you
all
remember,
that just happened and all what's coming,
Yeah, and you remember it in sharp detail that because it's just such an overwhelming moment,
right?
And
that's why I asked about that moment.
Yeah,
I recall your conversation after Scarlett was born.
When me and Christina got together, she had already had Elena, and Elena was almost 3 months old when me and Christina first got together.
Wow! So you just it's your baby.
Oh yeah, after I think it was 2 years maybe. We got to go and I got to adopt her, and
legally.
put her under my name,
nice.
and everything. She still doesn't know. She's 9. But she hasn't asked any of those questions yet.
Yeah.
And that's the way we're going is, we're
when
just
it's
not
time,
gonna,
she'll ask.
When she starts asking questions,
and then y'all will be honest because that's
exactly.
who you are.
We'll be honest with her, because that's all we can do. I've had so many sleepless nights thinking about that day when she finally asks,
how are you going to handle it?
How am I going to handle that? And more, I think I know how I'm going to handle it because I've been handling it this entire time.
Yeah.
That is my daughter. And 9 times out of 10, people don't even know that she's not biologically mine because she acts like me. She has my humor, her facial expressions, it's everything.
Yes, you're her model. That's what parents are. You're the model for them.
And so, I'm terrified of that day only because her reaction.
I you know what? Once you tell her that y'all loved her so much,
right?
That
and that's what we hope.
Yeah,
that's what we hope. Because all we can do is love her. That's all we want to do is love her.
Man, if the world could just if you could offer advice to everybody in the world to get their shit together, can we just love each other?
Yes.
You don't have to.
We're gonna try something.
Yeah,
we're gonna try something.
He's got a special surprise for you, Josh.
Goodness!
See if it works.
A voice from the past.
Oh no!
Hang on, and bear with me. Bella can keep everyone entertained. I suppose,
well, Bella's just going to, listeners, we don't know what to say. She's going to bark.
I'm not as pretty as I used to be, so I understand the fear.
It was the beard she was afraid of. His is white.
Kids used to love me. Babies used to I could put any baby to sleep. And now that I've got a beard and I'm bald,
it's a little more.
All the kids are terrified, which is good.
You'll get to
okay.
Santa phase, though, because he's Santa. And so he gets looks from little kids like, and especially when Christmas starts rolling around.
Yeah, but when I was a photographer for Olin Mills for all those years, we were supposed to wear a tie. Yeah. And anytime the boss was gone, the tie was off because kids look at you. You got these big, giant, bright white lights pointed at them
with a tie,
with a guy in a tie.
Interrogation.
They immediately think doctor, and then
some kids think cops.
Well, now, sure. All right.
This is the era we live in.
This is going to be like.
This is an experiment. We're doing an experiment, listeners. I know you can't see the tension in the room.
It's palpable.
It is. I can feel it.
All right.
Cut it with a knife.
It's going to sound like an old timey radio show.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't think that's true. Oh, and school's about to start. Do your kids go to South? Your oldest?
No, they go to Reeves.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because I live right there.
Because you're right there, and it's easier access.
Yeah, and
hello.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Is this our former?
Yes, this
host?
Former co-host Bryant Habits.
My nemesis
is on the line.
Okay. I never thought I'd hear you again.
Hey.
Oh, live and fuzzy.
Live and fuzzy. And you, of course, Josh Ardoin is with us in the studio today, Hebs. And so I thought I would.
Josh.
What's up, Hebs?
How you doing, old boy?
I am.
You
got any?
As good as we can be.
Yeah. Well, with the world we live in, it's so hard to be like, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Or like, I'm just doing absolute shit. Everything sucks, and so I like to say that I am.
I'm doing
How are you doing? I am. I am.
You can't argue with it. You are. That's how you are.
Yeah.
We're all floating along.
Right.
So Habs, before I go any further, I do have to ask though, you were on a long journey.
They took the Griswold trip.
It was a journey. It was an Exodus expedition. I mean, it was
It
was ridiculous.
It was like 20 days or something. I don't even know, man. It seemed like you were.
Jesus.
We left on the 1st and got back on the 13th.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well,
It
then
seemed
that was
longer.
a rush. Yeah, it did seem longer. How many thousands
It
of
did seem longer. I
miles?
was like almost 4.
4,000?
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
You're a better man than I,
Wait,
Gungadin.
are we driving here or flying?
He drove.
Oh, that's a lot of
I
miles.
know.
With three girls.
Yeah, we went in a camper, a little RV.
Even
And
Belle
it
was
wasn't
laughing at
mine
you.
either.
And it wasn't. It was a borrowed camper.
It was a borrowed camper, and I was like, all right, what's the worst that could happen? 112-degree weather in Arizona melts my tires or something. Yeah, it was.
Shitter's
It was intense.
I've taken plenty of 6-hour trips with my 3, and
that's enough?
that was rough. I cannot imagine.
Oh my Lord.
No, the pictures were amazing.
No, it was they're travelers. They're
Yes.
at heart. They're.
Everybody
And
looked
we
like
got
they
back.
were.
They're like, we're going now. I was like, no, shut your mouth. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you could.
Wait, was Ruby on board to go for another trip after all that?
Yeah, Ruby was fine.
Oh, okay. She just looked
She looked mad in
mad
some of
in
those
most
pictures,
of those
man.
photos.
Well, when you take a picture, she usually fusses at you. So
Oh.
anyone that she looked happy, or Becca's new trick, she goes, say hi to Momo, like we're FaceTiming her.
And then
Say hi to
Ruby
Momo.
will
So
smile.
She'll wave at the phone.
Nice.
And,
Well, that's
sorry, kid, Momo's not there.
We tricked you into smiling.
we
Ha
did.
ha, little fool. Yeah.
So, Habs, if you ever need body work or paint done, Josh Ardoin is the man to
He's
call.
the man to
Gotcha.
do it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, really? I did not know he was in that line of work. That is cool.
And he's in. Actually, he's close to you, dude. He's in Reeves.
Really?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. You need somebody. You got somebody at the pit stop.
I can do it. And like this is kind of like a plug. Don't let your insurance company tell you where to bring your vehicle.
Okay.
They can't do that.
They can't tell
Most
you.
thing that we run into, a lot of people ask like, "Oh, well, can I bring my car to you?" And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
And then
it's
they'll
your
say,
vehicle.
yeah.
You pay for that insurance. You can bring your car wherever you want it to go.
Okay.
Now, most insurance companies are going to be like, well, you need to go to Bailey's.
This is
or you need to
so-and-so
go to
in
this
our
one.
area, yeah.
Right. And that's because they work with those insurance companies. We're not
Yeah.
big enough to do that, which I feel like is an advantage
Yeah.
for me because I'm not pushed with time. I get to actually take my time and make that car as pristine as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they all fudge. They'll go, oh, we'll have that done in 6 days, and it's like never, ever, ever
Our Jeep-
6 days.
Our Jeep was not. No.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes lots
It's like
of time.
some kid with trimmers is using a spray painter, and yeah.
There's an electric car called a Rivian, and I saw a thing this morning. It got into a fender bender. Literally, the only damage was to the front right fender. And the Rivian, because they use carbon composite fiber, some kind of special, I don't know, super adamantium. It's
Yeah.
$40,000 for the repair for
a
one fender.
For the
Oh,
front fender.
For the front
Good
fender.
God.
okay. That is not the car for we.
No.
No, I don't think I'll be
No,
driving a
well, you know what? That's
Rivian.
how it's all going that way, anyways. Like when I totaled my truck last year, it was a deer went through my radiator, and the guy's like, "Well, we're not done going through it yet, but we're at over $25,000 in damage already." I'm
Why
like,
didn't
"Okay,
they-
of course you are."
That they didn't just
Lovely.
like total it. Oh no, 25,000 for a
Yeah,
truck
yeah,
is nothing anymore. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's where they were, but I mean that truck was a few years old, so yeah, they ended up totaling it.
That's
Lovely.
the trick is
Lovely.
the trick is if you ever really need to get rid of a car, if you want to total it immediately, you just drive it into high water.
Yeah.
We have plenty around.
Yeah,
Yep.
I okay. Are you still bringing that up? That you gunny sacked that for how many years, G?
I didn't even consider that, but you're still feeling guilty, I see.
I had to survive the waters of Louisiana to get out of that vehicle.
Thank God you did. I would have been responsible for those two kids. That would have been horrible. Oh my God.
It's been rough.
Jeez.
You just your wife nearly died.
That truck was nice.
No.
Something like that. If that happened to me, like if I were in the car and stuff like that, and I were to, get the vehicle totaled, but somehow would meet my demise in an obvious accident, my wife would walk away with a pretty hefty
Oh
chunk.
yeah, she would
I'm
benefit.
fairly
See?
well insured at this point.
Mhm.
That's important.
See, you would have made some money.
And then she could drive she
We
could
didn't
buy a
have
camper
insurance
and then
then.
drive it across the country.
Oh, yeah, with AC.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can afford a really nice.
So, what was the highest gas price you paid?
It
I'm
was
just curious.
in the middle of the Mojave Desert. I was still in California. It was in the Mojave, and it had been at least an hour and a half since I've passed any sign of life.
Oh.
And there was this one gas station. I was like, sweet, gas. Pulled over. There was a sign on the window of the place that said, please don't come complain about the prices. Our overhead is very high because our delivery costs are ridiculous to get it out here because we're hundreds of miles from any services.
So the
or whatever.
gas to get it there.
$7.79.
Oh, my God.
It was $7.79.
Wow. Ouch.
Per gallon. But wait. Here's the kicker.
Yeah, but you were getting what, like $7-8 or 7-8 miles a gallon? Come on, man.
At least 3 gallons to the mile.
What's the kicker?
But I went. All right, so we went, and the guy, I was like, well, hell. I said, I ain't taking it up. I said, we'll get somewhere soon enough. So I put 10 gallons in, which was still
thinking you were gonna.
and then I kept going. I'm telling you, about 30 minutes or 40 minutes later, crossing to Arizona, there was a gas station. $3.55 or something like that. I was like, those sons of bitches.
Damn. They got you.
Coming from the West, it was like an island. It actually was like a little oasis. And it was like off of old Route 66. You could see this weird little curio stuff that was all abandoned right next to it. So I was like, ooh, this is a cool looking little stop anyways. But I was like, God bless America. This is a ridiculous gas price. And sure enough, soon crossing to Arizona, it worked out. I was like, goddamn California.
Land of the free, Arizona.
California, land of the rich and the homeless.
Well, I don't know why anybody would want to live in, because you were crossing like just flat desert, right?
Well, the Mojave.
Well, at this point it was flat desert. There was like mountains all around us.
Yeah, I'm sure you can see.
But we were like in the middle.
Mountains, but
it freaked me out, just the geography of the whole thing. Like on the way in, before we got to LA, it was 112 degrees where I was, and I could see a mountain that had snow on top of it from where I was.
Oh wow!
I was just like,
the dichotomy.
God, that is freaking crazy.
It's surreal.
Because it was 100. Yeah, it was like 110 degrees or whatever. But the elevation, we were at like at least 5,000 feet just where we were, and then there was mountains above from that. And I was like, and Olivia's like, "Is that snow?" I was like, "Indeed, that is." Freaking snow, even though we're melting down here.
I still can't get over the fact that you drove a Class C RV into Los Angeles.
He's a train bus driver, man.
Into Los Angeles.
Hey, I parallel parked it in Los Angeles.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
You
have
done,
skills,
sir.
Habs. You have skills.
So there. Yes. You have an exit strategy.
Besides, he's driven a rough bus route, so he knows.
A rough bus route, man. Well, driving in LA, it was so weird because like the interstate was like 8 lanes wide each direction.
Oh.
I'm like, exit a quarter mile. I was like, oh hell, I got a quarter mile laterally to get there.
Nice.
But whatever, it worked.
Oh, good. I'm
Every
glad.
now and I was like, hang on. I just had to holler, hang on, so the crap doesn't fly out of the cabinets and whatever.
I'm glad y'all were safe the whole time.
Yes, no deer.
No breakdowns.
Yeah, I got AAA before we left on this trip.
just in case.
For a little peace of mind. And you know what? It's already paid for itself with the discounts.
Oh,
hey,
nice.
well, there you go.
All right. More good advice. We've been getting good advice today.
And you got to go to Disneyland, the original.
Oh.
Got to go to freaking and it was supposed to be a little podunk nut. That's what Becca said. Don't get your hopes up.
No,
Nope.
it's
Mind blown. We're gonna fly to. We're gonna do it again. We're not gonna take the Grapes of Wrath route again. But we'll
Steinbeck.
we're gonna fly over there as soon as we get the kids to, not be scared of that.
yeah. Or y'all
Just like a ride.
You know what? Screw the kids. Go to Disneyland with just you and Becca. Leave them kids at home.
Now we're talking.
We actually planned that for Disney World. We did that at one point, and then she felt bad, and I was like, "Well, whatever."
You don't get that time back. You don't get that time back. It is short.
I know.
It is short.
I've already
and
had
she
it,
was
so I can
thinking,
just
she was
tell
like,
other people what to do.
And she told me, you didn't have a childhood, so let's go. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
You didn't have a childhood.
I understand, Habs. I understand, man.
You didn't have a childhood.
I had to be an
I was
adult.
talking to my dad about all this stuff. He goes, yeah, we never went anywhere. I said, yes, I remember that. We went to San Antonio once.
We were
I didn't see the
dirt
Alamo.
poor, and we still got to go to Silver Dollar City.
Well, we took our kids some
we never
places,
did
but
that.
they had to share everything. We're buying one Happy Meal, and you're splitting it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We did take one kid's chicken tenders and like, okay, what about the other ones? Like,
you know how you're poor.
They don't eat right.
That's right.
When we were kids, you knew you were poor because you never got to go to McDonald's. Now that's like, you know,
poor people do.
First time we went to Wendy's, my dad was like, "How much for a burger?" They were brand new.
When they first came out,
it was like $1.10.
Yeah, it was like
it's ridiculous nowadays too. Because like we went, I thought I'd be cool.
You're paying $10 for a meal.
I was like, we're going to stop at Raising Cane's. We come back from the beach, we were hungry.
Marty.
I was like, oh yeah, we're going to hit some Raising Cane's. It was like $50. I was like, dude, I should have went to El Tapatio's.
Well,
I know. All got chimichangas and it would have been $30.
I'm willing to give a tip and just not to have $10 per McDonald's meal. $20 for the two of us.
No, I'm never going to eat at Raising Cane's again, simply because I cannot pay those prices for a piece of a chicken breast.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
yes.
it's hard to, it's hard to rationalize that. Maybe it's like condor breast or something rare. Maybe that's why it's so expensive.
There you go.
No, I'll get a
whooping crane.
I'll get a real actual chicken breast and put it on my pellet smoker. That's what I'll do.
I'm reporting you to PETA Hags. Yeah, yes, you're smoker. All right, you can do a plug for that later.
I've never eaten a whooping crane.
Okay, you just make sure PETA knows that.
Why are you whooping a crane?
I've seen a dead one though, but I was not supposed to be dead.
Excellent.
Right, well,
I think some redneck killed it and like threw it on my dad's farm, and he was like, "Oh God, it's got like a tag on it." I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, the federale is going to come get us. We don't want that."
No, you don't. Oh no, God, the federales. You don't want to accidentally end up in Mexico. It's like, oh my God.
Well, we are glad you made it back safe, and y'all had an amazing time. I love the pictures. That's my best part of social media, is getting to see everybody else's fun.
Yeah,
the reason I still have it for pictures.
Thank you. I appreciate
those pictures were actually excellent color wise. I was blown away by the color in those pictures. Was that an Apple phone by any chance?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Apple, man.
Are you touching the kitty?
Ew.
You're touching the kitty.
Oh, I am touching the kitty. I was you.
Man, I can't see what's going on.
Kitty feels nice. I'm using an iPhone.
There's a cat.
I don't buy Apple.
The cat came in, but at least the cat's not barking.
God.
No. Yes.
I was going to say, I'm going to let y'all have y'all's moment. I'll see y'all later.
Everybody should appreciate the fact that I restrained myself and did not use the word pussy.
Oh,
same.
Well, now you did.
Well,
there you go. Thank you, Josh. I know you're on my level. All right.
Way to go.
The whole time, when knowing about being on the podcast, I was like, I wonder what all words I can't say while I'm on
You
the
can
podcast.
say
Podcast,
anything
you can actually say anything.
You can say any of them. At worst, you will be bleeped later.
Yeah, I can bleep anything. And the other thing is, if you have an expletive slip every now and then, you're not required to check the explicit box
to warn people.
But if I was on a podcast talking literally about just straight ahead, that's the thing now that gets me is these people that have podcasts where they talk about like trans issues and they get into all of that crap. They don't have to put explicit on their podcast. But if I get on and was talking about hetero stuff,
intercourse,
yeah,
you can use that
I'd
word.
have to probably put explicit on it because that would be incorrect.
Our listeners
just
should
a weird
just
time
know.
we live in.
If I'm on it, it's possible. It's possible.
Well, I'm not going to just go on a
tirade.
profanity
I might
filled tirade.
I don't know.
I have my moments.
Maybe it's needed.
Yeah, it might be needed in today's
that might
society.
Be that one thing that just shoots y'all into the top 5 of Spotify.
I'm trying to offend. I'm trying.
What's a guy got to do to offend somebody around here?
Well, Bella's pissed.
Yeah, the fact checker Bella has just been
losing
vocal.
her crap.
So
yeah.
I apologize to our listening community for the vocal renderings.
Our
of
listeners
that stupid dog.
love dogs, love animals.
If
you're not, you don't listen to our show if you don't.
No, man, dogs are terrible.
Shut up.
Hate them.
That's you. Okay.
And if you don't love animals, listening to this podcast gives you a pass.
Maybe. Gardeners, pet lovers, good people.
Man, I don't kill anything anymore.
Oh, I feel bad about
it. It's like I'll move a spider if they're in a really bad. If they're on me, there's a good chance I'll react and kill it. But as far as like going out of my way to even step on something,
speaking of
cockroaches still get a foot.
Please do not buy these sticky fly strips because they have little painted flies on them, which lure geckos and lizards, and they get stuck and they die. We killed an entire family.
I think we killed an entire family.
Oh no!
It was horrible,
I swear to you.
Josh, horrible. I felt so bad. They were struggling.
You'll love this. So the first lizard that got caught was the biggest one.
So that was Dad, probably.
And then the next one is a little bit smaller. I'm thinking female. And then there's a little baby right behind that one. And I'm like, oh my God, what a horrible thing.
They thought they were getting flies.
They thought they were getting these massive chicken-sized flies. And they ended up dying.
They were just hanging out, and you ended up accidentally making one of those things you could just put on your back window to show the family of lizards that you just killed.
And when I went to see if I could get them off, which, by the way, you can't.
You can't. Those sticky traps are
sticky.
No,
especially those little geckos. Those little geckos are like very fragile.
They're fragile, yeah.
When I picked it up, the oldest one, the biggest one, opened one eye just barely, and it was like, oh man, he just cursed me.
Now I feel bad. I shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm sorry.
Dude, you're toast.
I know.
Way to go.
Okay.
Well, it could be worse. I killed a family of ducklings.
Remember when I had that
ducklings?
Remember when I had that other co-host who didn't used to bring the show down, Deb? Do you remember that?
Habs.
It was always lighthearted and happy and witty banter.
The world right now will do that to you.
There you go. Thank you. It's the world we live in.
Real quickly.
Witty banter. Witty banter.
All right. Jeez. Okay.
It makes great humor, though.
Yes. Dark humor.
Oh, man.
For those people who are
we're turning
the
world
side.
I honestly believe people that deal with like depression and anxiety and stuff, they have the absolute best humor. I've never met anyone that, struggles with that does not have a great humor and doesn't laugh at
Robin Williams.
Everything.
It's the best
we
way to
laugh
cope
at
with that sort of
everything, especially the stuff we're not supposed to laugh at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We laugh.
And we live in a world now where comedians struggle because they do the humor just the slightest wrong way. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, as teachers, what are you going to say in class that's going to get you in trouble now?
Right.
I let some.
If I haven't gotten in trouble yet,
no, you'll make it. You'll make it.
Okay.
I know. I got 2 years. Never joined the union. Are you in the union?
I think no. I
am not in the union.
Okay.
All
right.
I ain't no communist.
I'm not either. I got into a fight with a union rep at Singer.
You'll have a better year next year or this coming year. Oh, by the way, here you go. So did you see that Beauregard Parish isn't starting until August 24th?
The hell?
Yes, the hell.
The hell. That's what I said. And
apparently,
God, my first meeting is on the 3rd. I got to do bus driver class.
Our first day is the 4th.
Here you go. Apparently, they've been working too long every year since Rita. When they added minutes to the schedule.
And we've been saying it.
We've been saying it for years.
Every year I said, why they didn't take the time.
Because it used to be 5 minutes between classes, and after Rita, it went to 4 minutes.
And they extended our day.
Whenever I was in high school, we got out at 3. And then when I started teaching, it was after Rita, it was 3:05, 3:06, whatever.
And I kept asking.
Those 5 minutes.
So Beauregard Parish has to give back days. Otherwise, they would be required to pay for
those days
in actual minutes.
Yes, because
so they're getting 2 weeks off apparently.
So we can't cash in on some of that. I mean, we were there for.
I know, right? If you're not a teacher there anymore, you should get a check.
I should get a check. I should get compensation.
That's what I'm saying.
All right,
I'll represent y'all.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
I should call that lawyer that has that horrible grin.
Bart.
Yeah, that's the one.
Morris Bart, that grin, the lower jaw.
He's got no lip.
His bottom teeth.
He's got no lip.
His bottom teeth.
All right.
He's like,
our listeners are like, what the hell are these people?
Completely run off the rails.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We're just pissed about 2 weeks. All right.
All right. Habs, I'm going to let you go and get you so you can get on with your busy day. And
well, hopefully he's got a relaxing day.
There's something.
Wait, one quick question. I heard it. It was like part of the thing, but we're all talking. So you killed a family of ducklings? Did you say that?
Yeah, it was, me and the esposa were driving down the road.
She killed a deer.
Mama duck was running across the road. And I was like, oh, wow. And then we hear, whoop. I was like, whoa, turn around and look, and there's just like a flock. There was like 10 of them, little bitty little fuzzballs. And that mama just took off. She was nowhere to be found.
Oh,
mama
no.
left.
I started crying.
I would have cried too.
There's nothing I could do.
It was
The mama killed him by walking him across a highway.
She wanted him aborted.
I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was driving.
Oh,
the mama just like
man,
left him there. So yeah, I kind of felt bad about that.
So she was crying. Did the kids?
She was very sad.
Did the kids know too?
the kids weren't with
This
them.
might have been before, either before the kids or when like one of them. I think it might have just been Olivia.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It was a while back.
I'm with Becca.
Can you imagine if that happened while you were on your vacation?
Bring everybody down.
What a great trip. Well, that's what happened to the deer. Olivia started crying when I hit that deer last year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you killed the deer, man.
I said, I don't give a damn about that deer.
Are we okay?
My truck is destroyed.
And then here we have the man who can
I can
fix it. I can fix anything. He's got an awesome set of TV tools.
He's got it taken care of.
Oh, my Lord.
All right. Let Habs go back to his.
That's good to know.
Yes, actually it is. How many students have you needed since they graduated?
Well, especially because
I've used several. I bought a truck from one.
Exactly.
I've gotten air conditioning installed by one.
Yep.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
a ticket from
By
one.
one. I mean, all kind of.
yeah, I got a
Oh, that's rough.
freaking ticket from a former student. It wasn't even my fault.
Yeah, yes. Keep saying
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that was a cool student too. So you must have really done him wrong back in the
I know.
day.
He apologized profusely as he wrote it.
Yeah. It was
You
just
can keep your apologies and your ticket.
Shove it up your. Okay.
yeah, and he felt like he was doing his job, and I was just all right. Yeah.
All
whatever.
right. Do what you got to do.
making the streets safe
I
from
know.
miscreants like y'all.
I know I was in the right.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. All right.
I know that guy was a psychotic.
Okay.
Yeah.
2:00, dear.
All right, Habs, we're gonna let you go, man.
All right.
You want to
Well,
say
good
goodbye
talking
to
y'all.
Josh?
Yeah, Josh, I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully I never need your services, but
Well,
if I do,
Yeah,
But
I
if
will
you
you
use
do.
do.
them.
I'll be there.
He can also do other
All right.
side paint jobs for you if you
I
need
can.
that. Yeah.
Habs, I'll be seeing you
Well,
soon.
sweet.
Very soon.
Yes, sooner than we should. If
Sooner.
Apparently,
We,
yeah.
worked in Bully Guard.
But I'm gonna put that smile on my face and go in and
And do another year.
do another year.
All right.
Yep, one more. Okay. Well,
Once
see
more
y'all
into
later.
the breach. Talk to you later, man. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Yay! How was that? Huh?
That was nice.
little blast from
worked.
the past. And it
I'll-
worked.
And it worked. That means I can do this again. I can have people because it sounded pretty good.
It did. It sounded really good.
Yeah, and so yay.
I'll never forget running out of his class when he was teaching us. We had to make a product, and we had to have a commercial for it. You know.
Oh, yeah,
and to
yeah. Do the
promote
whole
it.
thing.
Right. And I don't know if I have permission to name drop, but I feel like I do. And if not, it can fall back on me. But Michael Joyce.
Oh, okay. Yes.
His product was a sinus relief
Okay.
product, which simply consisted of a ghost pepper that he grew in his garden.
Oh, Michael. He was a great
And-
kid. I loved
Oh.
Michael.
Love Michael. It worked, by the way. His
It did?
product, yes, will clean
Open you up?
your nostrils, your tears, your saliva.
So were you
all
part
out.
of his advertisement?
I
Is that
was.
how you
I
were
was-
involved in the
yes.
product? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Luckily, we had some lovely cafeteria ladies that let us devour all the pancake syrup and chocolate milk
to try
without asking.
to tame it all down.
Yeah, that was rough. And he was on the second, the second
Oh
floor.
yeah, he was upstairs across from G over here.
Yep.
He's still across from G on the second floor,
Yeah, I guess he
just
is.
in a different school. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all on the same hall, causing trouble
I'm doing
about.
special ed now though.
Yeah.
Mostly. I still do a couple history classes
because you
when
can't help
they
it.
let me.
Oh, poor G.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I'm glad Michael had a good product and sold it quite well. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It definitely worked.
Do you remember your product?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. Mostly because I made it 30 minutes before class.
Oh, you were a procrastinator.
yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes. I during lunch, I remembered, hey, I'm supposed to have a product and a commercial for it ready next class. And rummaging through a former classmate's purse, I found some Burt's Bees lotion.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the other thing. Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
Felt some Burt's Bees lotion, and when I opened up, I realized it looked a whole lot like snot. It was very close to snot. And
gelatinous.
yes. Okay. And so my product was, you remember back when, we actually watched commercials, and there was the head on. Apply directly to your forehead.
Oh, yeah. I do kind of recall
Apply
that.
directly to your forehead. Well, so I had snot on, and my whole pitch was, if you're ever trying to get out of a family event or, your girlfriend's annoying you and you're just trying to get her out and you just, and I had, I feel bad for not remembering his last name, but.
What was the first name?
Ethan.
Fontenot?
No.
Who knows?
I can't remember. I can't remember. Anyways, I had him standing outside of the visual of where the commercial was supposed to be, and he was on the outside just saying snot on, apply directly to your nostrils.
He was your narrator. Nice.
Yeah. It worked.
Habs didn't know. He probably gave you an
had no
A.
idea that it took me, about 5 minutes to get that.
There you go, Habs. You were hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Hoodwinked by a procrastinating student. It never happens.
He didn't expect anything less. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Teachers often know.
Y'all know.
We do let things go quite often.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not new teachers.
You got to pick your battles.
But pick your fights. Exactly.
You do. And
I don't care if your shirt's tucked in.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
There you go.
The things that often are focused on.
That is so stuck into my daughter's head.
About
she
dress
does
code.
it with her everyday clothes.
Yeah.
She will come out of that room with her shirt tucked in, and I'm like, okay, first on, you need to have a belt on. So
They're going to call you on that.
Your clothes don't even
You have a
match.
back on your shoes.
I'm like, please get your dress out of your blue jean shorts right now.
Poor
You look kind of funny. Christina's like, she can wear whatever she wants.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. But please untuck your shirt.
It is. It's bred into them now. I know. What we're doing to these children, people.
Well, I'm telling you, before it's all said and done, it'll happen for sure in your lifetime. They will realize that giving young kids phones and screens was the worst thing they could have ever done.
Well, yes.
I 110% agree.
Because you did not have them when you were young.
We definitely didn't have them at all. And that's what most of my best memories are, is not having those. Me and Ryan Simmons got lost in the woods for a full day one time. Just all the stuff that we did was always outside and something crazy.
Interesting. You didn't have Google telling you. You figured it out yourself.
And don't get me wrong, love my kids to death, but it is nice to have something that will go do this.
Well, I know. I don't fault parents for that.
No, and so I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's get the kids some tablets. We could do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I broke them things.
Yeah, it
Call me a
problem.
bad parent if you want.
No.
I broke them things.
I would struggle too.
They turned hateful.
Well,
the
our
kids
grandkids
turned
have
so
them too.
hateful, and I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Now it's time. You have to treat it almost
the
like
parameters for you've got 1 hour.
You have 1 hour a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that hour's over, you got to turn it in.
And we tried doing that, but the fits
It's
they
hard.
would throw when
Oh,
you
sure.
would take that,
Absolutely.
I'm like, well, this is simple. Just get rid of them. Then you won't be
and
able
then
to
the
get mad
fights
about
are.
it.
I know.
Because there was no training for this.
No, it
for this
happened
thing.
so fast. That's what I was saying when
Yeah.
I was looking up, because I did
there's
a
no
little research
parallel.
on you first. I went and looked everything up and made sure I knew the years and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But you were that generation, the end of millennials. You're on the cusp. You're a Gen
You're on the
Zer
cusp.
and a millennial.
Yeah, we're a very interesting generation.
It is an
Right on the
interesting
edge.
generation.
Just-
and
We
I know
remember-
they're general. I can't say the word.
Generalize?
Yeah, generalities. No.
No.
Generalization.
Whatever.
Okay, well, let's go with that. The list of how you behave and those kinds of things are very general, but there are elements to those things to the generation. And since you're on the cusp, you've got some interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I remember what it's like with no cell phones.
Yeah.
and,
Sure.
and
But
the
the
internet
kids I
with
teach now don't.
Trying to wait for your internet.
And there
to
was
turn on
there was nothing to bring us to that. Like with radio and television, the difference between the two, there's not a lot of difference. Radio, you could get up and walk around, but you still had to be within proximity of that radio. Then TV happened, right? TV didn't really change what you had to do that much. but we had no preparation for being able to walk around with an actual computer in our pocket and be able to access all of this video content.
So much information.
There was no training for that.
And so much of the information is pointless.
Well, and that, like, my whole school life, you know, was just completely different because my first phone was in like 2004 or 5-ish.
Classrooms are different. You wouldn't recognize a modern classroom.
No,
probably wouldn't.
The kids don't talk to each other. You know, I had to use a hammer to get everybody to shut up. I had my gavel. I would use my gavel.
When we say,
I don't use a gavel
when we
anymore.
say we're done, because they have the policy where once they're done for the last 2 minutes of class, they'll all whip out their cell phones. It is dead silent.
They don't really speak to each other.
I
They
used
text
to
each
have
other.
to-
They have a class chat for all the juniors, and everybody's in it.
Oh, they
and
may be having
have-
a conversation, but they're all doing it this way.
Yeah. See, and I miss
weird?
the anxiety of trying to pass a note without one of y'all seeing, you know, like
It's wild.
I never read them out loud. It was not a good thing.
It's totally weird though. Because I
It
used to
is.
have to say, "Shut up, be quiet,
Yeah.
simmer down."
No,
you know, all that stuff.
now they're focused.
Yeah.
I mean, the first phone I had was one of those indestructible Nokias.
Yeah.
I could tear
I
that
love
thing
those phones.
all
I did too.
all the way to pieces, put it back together, and it was ready to rock and
Yeah,
roll.
and it still
and
worked.
then graduating, you know, I'm looking up guitar tabs, you know, on my phone.
Yeah,
You know,
it is
and
a
so
strange
we've
world.
got to see everything. You know, it's just and you know,
It's
we still-
fast.
It was very
supposedly we still got plenty of time to learn about what's coming. You know,
AI?
the future. Oh, terrifying.
fast. Yeah, no, I don't think we have time. I really don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
AI is just garbage. It's
Mind-
still
mind
the same
control.
rules, the same old rules for computers.
The
still
story,
applies, and it's garbage in, garbage out.
The story about the F-16 fighter jet. Please tell me y'all heard that one about the AI.
That was
ran.
driving, that was flying the plane, or
Yes, it operated this plane, and
Yeah.
so they set up a simulation for it that, you know, okay, you get a point for finding your target, you get a point for taking out your target,
Okay.
and so this plane took off, you know, and the operator, you know, he finds the target, says, "I found the target. Can I take it out?" Operator says, "Yes, you can." So he takes it out. He gets points for both.
Okay.
So then he starts looking for the second one. He sees it. The operator says,
No.
"No, you can't take out this one." So the plane turns around and heads towards him.
Yep.
Like, okay, you're not going to let me complete my task.
mission. I'm
gonna
going to take you out.
and then I can finish my mission. So they said, whoa. They shut it down, grounded it, rewrote in there, said, "No, you can't do that. That's not okay. You lose points if you take out the operator." Fixed all that, sent it back out. The first thing it did, it went after the communication tower.
Oh, to take that. out.
Anything to stop it from its core mission, whatever.
Sounds like a teenager.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, that is
You know,
terrifying.
That is terrifying.
I don't want it thinking.
You know, and of course the U.S. military gets on. It's like, "Oh no, that didn't happen. You know, don't listen to that guy. That is one of our top, you know, military professionals in a conference in London right now talking with others about this. But don't listen to him. He's crazy." You know, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's coming.
I know Kamala Harris is so knowledgeable. You know, she did let us know that it is 2 letters, A and I.
And
Is that the pronouns?
it's okay. I'm
Do
watching.
you
I
use
just want to
those?
address it properly.
That was what I was going to ask, because your generation, do you do that? Are you aware of it? Does it affect your daily life in any way?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm aware that it is a thing, you know, but I haven't come across that
Anybody
bridge.
that would, yeah.
Here's the thing, and I keep bringing this up over, and I'm going to do it again.
All
I
right,
keep
do it,
hammering this.
G.
If somebody tells you what their pronouns are, they will never objectively know unless they hear a recording of you talking about them to someone else. Because all of the pronouns are for use when you are discussing
that person.
them, but with someone else.
But I have a problem when I read and they keep saying
That's my
they
issue.
are there, and I want to correct it. I correct it in my head because it's not correct.
Yeah, I read a book.
I don't know if we're going to
It's
change
the first time I
that.
had run across it. It was a book that I thought would be really cool, and it turned out to be a real dud. But it was alternate history, and they were raising hippopotamuses in the Louisiana swamps, and they were using them to get around. And it was like 1880s. They had been raising hippopotami in Louisiana since like the 1700s.
It's always a good idea.
And it was pretty cool.
They could go through a swamp.
But it was alternate history,
bet
so it was set back in time. But they had developed in this alternate reality the idea of non-binary people.
Oh,
right?
In 1880s?
Alternate history.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
This was a modernly written book
So,
about a time in the past that did not happen because it's alternate history, but they went ahead and included all of the transsexual stuff in the storyline.
That time frame.
So there's like 2 or 3 characters where even though like they're men, they go by she, right? And when you're reading, that's a real weird thing.
Well, that's what I mean. It's hard for my brain to do that.
It was weird. Would
the
hard
South
to read.
have won the war if we had hippopotamuses?
I feel like we would.
There was no Civil War.
Yeah. You ever seen them things in the water? Like you seen the videos of people passing with
shit.
boats and they're like right there.
Yeah, they kill.
No, hippos. Hippos
are the number one killer.
Number one killer
Africa.
of human beings
in Africa. Yeah, I don't know where else, but
I don't know that there are.
Don't import them to Louisiana.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
Can you not bring them here?
No, I don't. I haven't ran into that problem yet. You know, with the pronoun thing. But like my whole thing is, and I know this goes for a lot of my generation. We don't care.
I didn't think y'all did. That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, look at our reunion. We had 8. We don't.
Do you think it's regional and it's just because of where we live?
I think
it's very possible. That is very, very possible. And that we've been through so much.
Y'all are not. I mean, nobody's rude people. If somebody said that, you would probably acquiesce.
And like when I say I don't care, it's like what you do with your life.
Yeah.
I don't care. What I do care about is your happiness. What I do care about is your joy. What I do care about is you not hurting other people. But that's it. As long as you stay in those boundaries, I don't care what the rest of your life is. I don't care what you're doing.
And don't force it on me.
No, if it's not hurting me or my family, I do not. And I was raised with gay's bad and and all this, and I'm like, that's stupid.
But
it's a waste of time.
You came to your own opinions.
Oh, absolutely. I used to be very, very deep. And this is going to be for people that know me and are listening to this. They're going to be kind of shocked. But like I grew up in church. I was at every VBS.
You don't live in this area without that.
Right. And personally, I feel like the church has it all wrong. I feel like they've got it all jacked up.
As far as like not accepting of all?
Not accepting the rules and traditionalism that we have in place that just doesn't make sense when you look in the Bible and you study. My focus is to be like Jesus. Not to be a part of a church. I haven't been in a church in a while.
Yeah, I understand. I was raised Catholic, so
we know Jesus was a real guy. Well, we know that he made an impact for sure. And if I can take from that, okay, so I need to do what? I need to love people. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only thing. When he was even questioned about it, he said, "Love your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength." But the second one is just as important as the first. Love your neighbor as yourself.
I think the idea of church too is. You have 2 different churches in every church. You have the body, the people that make up the church, and then you have all of the rules and structure of that church. The dogma.
Right.
I think when push comes to shove, people choose the spiritual side of being with those people before the structural things.
Well, your congregation
and
is made up of
but
different
you don't see it manifest.
Too.
You don't see it manifest. They're not going to church because of the rules. People are going to church to be in a community.
I mean, most of them are broken. It's a group of broken people.
But you have people in charge and in power.
It's here where you'll find it.
A church is still just a corporation. When you get people who are entrenched for a long, long time.
Oh, for too long, yeah.
And it's happened again. It's happening now. You had the Catholic Church, then you had the Reformation. People were hungry for a personal relationship with this God in their own language.
Not having to go through a man or an intermediary.
Then after that, you had it break up into bunches of different things that serve different people in different ways.
Well, yeah, you network. You go to church to network.
But when you look now and you see it over and over again, it says people are they're not going to church as much, but when you ask people, do they feel like they're spiritual and believe, the numbers continue to stay pretty much as they always have. That hasn't changed.
So bodies in a building
are
is
decreasing. Look, if people don't go to malls, they're not going to go to church.
Yeah.
Why? If you truly have a personal relationship with God, you don't need anyone else.
Well,
I mean, that's just the bare facts of it.
That's your belief.
Well, it has to be if what people want is this relationship, then you can't say that it can only exist in this fashion and then have a building or.
Yeah. I know. I've read the literature.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm a big.
I've read the literature.
Right.
I know.
I have too. And what started all of me, because y'all were always, that's one thing I loved about y'all's class was y'all were always, we're going to learn about this, but y'all also were like, do your research.
Yeah.
Come up with your own
ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things
and
I
don't
loved.
spout off what everybody else tells you. Come to it yourself.
Right. And so I took that with being in church and growing up with the Bible and reading it all the time, and coming to a verse that said, these in the context, in the bottom part that gives you a little information about the verse.
Yeah.
And it said, these scriptures weren't originally in the original text, but we added them in for context and all this. And I'm like, who gave you that right?
Yeah. Who added that in? Who interpreted it and put it in those words?
Well, that's the reason for lots of issues as far as that goes.
It's been a snowball ever since then, and now I talk with my aunt all the time because,
we're Southerners, we gesticulate. It's okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
But throughout history, though, that it got changed even inadvertently. They didn't have to do anything. When you've got a bunch of people, there were no rules for Greek when they wrote the original documents.
Oh, you mean for the language itself and the
first you have Judaism for the first half of the book, and everything was based off of that. It got translated into Greek, right? Christianity was a bunch of different people all speaking Greek in different regions. So just that alone would have changed the textual information depending upon where you were. Eventually, all that Greek got synthesized down and eventually converted into Latin. Now you've got that issue where you're changing a language to another language.
It's the telephone game.
Yeah,
it is.
And their argument is well, that's what faith is.
Sure. Ultimately, that is your answer to everything.
I drop back to the basics. With what did Jesus do? He loved people. That's what he did.
He fed people.
So if that's all I get from this life, then that's what I'm sticking with.
Then you're a good human being, Josh.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
Golden rule.
I have done some. I'm sure
everybody's
people listening that are mad at me,
but then hopefully they'll come to forgiveness on their own.
I do. I hope they do. But coming back to the pronoun things, it's like I don't care. How can I love you?
Yeah.
I don't care about your pronouns.
If I call you the wrong thing and it horribly wrecks your psyche, I am sorry I didn't do it intentionally.
It wasn't on purpose.
That's on you.
Right.
You took that. So
yeah.
Be good people. Don't be a dick.
Is that part of the microaggression thing?
Well, actually, microaggressions are like,
using the wrong pronoun.
Using the wrong pronoun.
But I don't know how that, saying
things like,
how does that, how do you know?
You don't recognize, but that's what they're doing. They're letting you know that these 10 things are considered microaggressions. Wow, you speak really well.
Yeah, that can be a microaggression.
That's a microaggression. So if you say that, I guess initially they're talking about when people say that, he's of color, but he speaks really well.
Oh yeah, that was
clearly that
today. That's not a microaggression.
No, that's straightforward. That's racist. Exactly.
We've all learned.
So you just don't have to say anything.
You can just say, "Hey,
you don't need
good
to
job.
reference that."
Good job.
So you can't just say he's well spoken.
No,
he's intelligent.
You can say that about anybody, really.
Exactly.
I feel like you would be able to say he's well spoken because that's simply just a compliment. It becomes racist when you give him the preposition at the end. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he speaks well for
a guy who grew up where you grew up. You sure do talk well.
Right. Cancel.
Yes. Or like when I met your people in Missouri, right? You're from the South. You don't talk like that. Oh, you mean I don't sound stupid?
Right.
But that's not how they meant it.
That's not how they meant it, and I didn't take it that way.
Right.
But I know others who would.
That would
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
I can talk like that if you need me to.
Yeah. I think our generation is we don't really keep up with all the stuff that's going on.
No, I don't think you do. My daughter's a millennial.
Like you said, it could be a region thing.
I think it's a fad. I think it's just the way, because this is really, especially right now, everything that's going on is a younger generation.
Well, I think it's a distractor
and
from the serious issues that are happening.
What do they have left to rebel against? Because
so we change the color of our hair.
The things that need to be changed, the things that need to be changed in society would cause the younger generation to have to take themselves out of their comfort zone of screens and constant input.
Yeah, because you need silence. You should be alone in silence.
That's a good example. Silence.
That's why I fish.
Silence is a rare thing now in society.
It is, and it's uncomfortable to young people.
And so, in order to change all that, would be discomforting to this generation.
Maybe the government should just limit our time on the internet completely.
When they did the recent study,
shut us off.
They've fixed everything else so far.
That's right.
When they did the recent study at one of the universities, and like 34% of the students.
Oh no, it was more than that.
No, it's 34.
It was 34%.
34% identified as not cisgender, which is just
they're not straight.
They're not straight.
34%.
They picked some other form. Okay, fine. There's no way that number's correct. Not really.
So you think they're doing it just to be part of the fad?
You can say like a whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's if they even fully understand what that question would even mean, you know?
Yeah. Well, why even bother to ask? People just that's the problem. We still
because they need data.
No, because it's the media wants to keep things stirred up
that are not important. Those are social issues.
That poll didn't need to be asked at all.
Those are not political issues. We need to be paying attention to what our politicians are doing.
It's a distraction. The people everything is a distraction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even this podcast.
Even this podcast. Exactly. Because we've done a long time. See, we had no problem with anything to talk about, did we?
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. We're way over.
We are way over.
I love to talk. I can talk for a long time.
As clearly we do too. That's why we sit here.
Plus, I mean, it feels like I'm back in class, you know?
Every other week. Except I can curse in front of you now.
I know.
I would not. If I said I'm pissed off to my 8th graders, it was just like, said pissed off. Like, you don't even know.
We were all terrified to see what Mr. Long would look like. I remember. I remember watching you put a student up against. There was a fight going on. And the student that you had with both your hands against the locker and was holding him down, we were all just like, how did he do that? Like, that's a man right there.
Oh, that wasn't one of the fights I broke up. I won't break up fights anymore.
It was quite impressive, but terrifying at the same time. Nice. So,
we don't want to fight here.
Thank you for coming in. We're going to have to wrap it up.
We are going to wrap it up. I just want to tell
editing I'm going to have to do now.
Everybody, you have joy in your heart. It is with you always. Take your joy. It's portable.
That almost sounds like something you should say on every podcast.
It should. Yeah.
It's my credo.
Ooh, a credo.
I mean, it's a good one.
Josh, nice to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Bye, community.
Y'all have a great couple of weeks. We'll see you in 2.